Benny is out, Bobby is in. Okay, so Benny versus Makhachev had a lot riding on it. Possibly number one contendership, right? Conor McGregor's always floating around this division with some ridiculous narrative, but Conor could make that ridiculous narrative become true, such as when I return, regardless of what my past record is, I could be going in and fighting for a championship. And that was not dismissed. That was not just totally brushed off. So I get that we got a wild card floating out there called Conor McGregor. Aside from that, back to reality a little bit, it looked as though Makhachev versus Benny, winner will take on the winner of Gaethje versus Oliveira, and the undisputed championship of the world will be contested. So, what do you do with Benny out? What do you do? I don't think you do anything different. I don't think that's fair, but I also am the one and only guy that believes there should be a forfeiture clause within this sport like there is in every other sport. If you agree to do something and you admit, I can't win, I don't think it matters what the reasoning is. If you woke up with a cold, or in this case, you hurt your ankle, I don't think it makes any difference. Once it's agreed to, that date and sign, and that conflict is going to be resolved, including through that of forfeit. I'm not going to win that argument. But I do think that for Makhachev, again, if this was any other sport, and you have a semifinal round, regardless of hook or crook, substitute in this case, if you've done everything the same, everything needs to stay the same for you. We've seen within this sport where that hasn't happened before. I disagree with it. I'm alone. This is a weak argument by me. This is not the hill that I want to die on, but I do believe that. So I would believe that if Makhachev wins, he should fight for a world championship. I think you guys do too. I don't think anybody's going to push back on that. I also believe that a semifinal has got to be good for both guys. If Makhachev is to win in the main event, Makhachev goes on and fights for the world championship because of the success he had in that specific night, then his opponent, Bobby Green, should be shown the same. That's what I think. I can be talked out of that. I can be bullied on that. I can let you push me around. Again, this isn't, by God, it has to be this way. But I do think that, for sure. In fighting, it's all chips in at all times. You don't have to get called. You don't have to bluff. You don't have to raise. All your chips are in. Whatever you bring into that ring is on the line. Prestige, money, championships, and opportunity. The one thing that everybody forgets about. Everybody wants to know, what am I getting today? I'm being mistreated today. No, set that aside. You want an opportunity. And I do believe that this is a semifinal bout. That's what it was scheduled to be. And whoever walks in there, into that red corner, it was supposed to be, we were hoping it would be Benny Dariush, but we've done our part. We did everything we could do. We set the ring. We set the date, got the weight class. Rules are unified. Venue is Apex, and we got everything. And I think that Bobby Green should be shown that. I don't think that it would make any sense for anybody to take that kind of a risk if there's no reward. That's what I think. I also think this is huge for Bobby. For whatever reason, Bobby Green's had a hard time getting over with the audience. I will submit for you right now, if you want to be a fighter and you get as good as Bobby Green, you can stop right there. You do not have to get any better. Bobby Green's skills would make him today's world champion in 4 different weight classes. I can't guarantee one of those weight classes is the one that he happens to be at. You took Bobby's skills and put him in Kamaru Usman's body, still going to be champion. You put those at 85 and Adesanya's body, still going to be champion. You move him to 205, you move him up to heavyweight. That's how good Bobby Green is. Bobby Green checks every box. Now, he can be hit. He's a human being. You can go to the judges. You can screw. You can't just take Bobby down, keep him there, kick his ass. You can't just punch him on his feet and he doesn't know how to roll and bob and weave. You can't come out and start kicking at his legs and he's got no defense. There's no holes with Bobby Green. This is a meaningful fight. Extremely. I don't know what's going to happen here, but Islam Makhachev is really on display. He's returning to a main event in what we believe is a number one contenders match. We believe that all the way to the point that Justin Gaethje, who's in the undisputed title match, has said, Islam, win one more fight and I'll make you my first contender. I don't know that Oliveira has said the same thing. I don't know that Oliveira needs to say the same thing. I'm only suggesting for you, Makhachev is going to be graded a little bit different here. Makhachev is absolutely dominant. You got to search to find a round that Islam has lost. You've got to search those fights within the rounds to find a position that he's lost. One scramble, one scenario, it's different. To make believe that anybody, including Islam Makhachev, can go out there and dominate Bobby Green, it's very hard for me to see. It's very hard for me to close my eyes and see that. And there was a lot of expectation being put on Dariush. A lot. I mean, I can go to the Hangman. Dan was talking about, Dan picked Benny, and he had just fought Makhachev. Nobody ever picks against the guy that they just fought that beat him. You just don't do that. You always pick that guy and you tell people how great he is because psychologically it's a way of lessening what happened to you. Yes, I got beat, but I got beat by this guy that was so great. Dan said he was great too. No question, but he said, I think Benny's better. Particularly if it stays on his feet, I think Benny's better. I think if Makhachev gets on top, I think Benny's good enough to scramble and get back up to his feet. I mean, all of a sudden, when a guy from the locker room who's in the know, who's ranked in the top 10, those opinions matter. And so putting him in here with Bobby Green, this is a very different fight. In some ways, guys, I think it's better. Bobby Green's short notice guy. Bobby Green is always ready. I really want you guys to learn something from Bobby here. I always had a hard time in my career with my own teammates to get them to understand. I coach kids now. I have a hard time getting them to understand why it's so important to be in practice today, getting better today, getting better tomorrow when the competition is a period of time out. Or you'll have your backup guys, JV, that don't even get to experience the same thing as the varsity guys when it comes to going to district and city championships to advance and qualify to state, to advance and qualify to the national. I don't ever want you guys to forget this, okay? It is much better to be prepared for an opportunity and have the opportunity never come than it is to be presented with an opportunity and not be prepared. Bobby Green is always ready. He deserves credit for that. Bobby Green will take on anybody. He deserves credit for that. He's going into a 5-round fight when he's in shape for 3 because it's what he just did. He deserves credit for that. Bobby Green can make weight on a week's notice 52 weeks a year. He deserves credit for that. Bobby Green beat Al. Big deal. It's a big deal if you can beat Al Iaquinta. Al Iaquinta to this day was not only Khabib's hardest fight, it is who Khabib says was his hardest fight. Bobby Green is a pain in the ass for anybody. And you guys got to understand, I get that he's not the favorite. But I think that we also get winning is what he wants to do. We as viewers don't really need to see him win. We need to see him win a round. We need to see him win a sequence. We need to see him get up off the bottom or make Islam work to get him there. We need to see something else from Bobby. I think that's what makes this so exciting. I want to see the Dariush fight. Dariush, Islam, boom. I'm on board. Bobby, that's very interesting. And I can't tell you for sure I don't want to see that more. It's one leg up that the UFC has on every other organization in the history of time. When a main event falls apart, they can replace it with equally or better main event on short notice. It's the number one leg up that they have. I think that might be what happened here. An in shape, ready to go, angry Bobby Green, who's been given the only thing that Bobby's ever wanted, which was an opportunity, is now in the main event. I think we have a job, guys. All right? We're fans. Bobby owes us something, so does Islam. Yes, they do. For sure. But they've now done it. They've now agreed that the show goes on. We have a job to make sure this is heard, that everything stays the same. We were told the number one contenders fight is going to happen. We owe it to Bobby to make sure it does.